Hello there. It's another beautiful show, and I'm glad that we are all here. And my name is Belinda Ashley, and I hope you're doing well. And today we are here with a very interesting human being. He is the guest, and he is a media practitioner by profession. So I would like him to introduce himself. And before that, let me just introduce the topic of today. Today, we're going to be having a conversation on youth and unemployment. So that's the thing that we're going to be having a conversation on. So we're going to touch on different aspects of this youths and specifically on unemployment and how to go about this thing, because it's something that we've encountered and have had it kwanza most of the beginning of this year till now, kwanza 2024. Let me just say 2024, it has been a bit difficult for most young people. So those are areas we're going to be having our conversations on. But I would like you to first introduce yourself and share with us much more details about who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you very much, Belinda, for the brief highlights concerning the show. My name is Victor Mukabi, a multimedia journalist here in Kenya. I have worked with the lovely Belinda Ashley before, and those who are acquainted to Belinda would definitely tell that I'm kind of not a guest, but maybe I'm a guest in this show, but in real life or in reality, I'm not a guest per se. But anyway, it is a pleasure to have to be here. Yeah.
It's wonderful to meet you again. I never expected that we would have this encounter.
My goodness, who'd have thought?
People are busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've heard of these stories. You remember there's a story I posted on TikTok?
Yeah.
Is it the media around July, August?
Yeah, around that time actually.
Yes, I posted a video on unemployment, I mean. And it was a video about my sis when she was ranting about the issue on unemployment. The issue is not even the act that you do not even have a job. You're employed, yes, but maybe the job tena inaisha. The issue was on that you do lots of applications and every now and then you keep getting rejection. So apparently most people resonated with this particular story, and people were sharing their own opinion, their own side of stories about their situation, which is similar to hers. And more of it, what we could get is that people less have the papers. People have pushed themselves in a way that they have put themselves outside, trying to grasp each and every opportunity and making use of them. But the issue is, whom do you know? How well can you put yourself into now those companies? You get me?
I get you.
Yeah, so I wanted us to have that conversation from that point so that you tell me from your own point of view.
I'd like to start from the basics when it comes to matters unemployment. You see, back in high school or in campus, we were taught about creating these relevant documents for getting employed. But times have changed. Like you see, like there are a lot of technical changes when it comes to matters, the process of which, whereby you're actually applying for these jobs, how you draft your papers and everything. So the other day I was looking at some career coach, and one of the things that she mentioned was that the way we craft our CVs, most of us are actually very dominant on the traditional way of doing CVs and everything, but things have changed. You no longer have to put I'm a Christian. You remember all those
your
stuff.
hobbies.
Yeah, you just give a brief bio of who you are, your education, your skills, your experience, your achievement, etc. So that is kind of one of the things that is actually putting a lot of people out there, in terms of missing out opportunities and stuff like that. Also, when it comes to matters applying for these opportunities, yes, you have the relevant skills, you have the experience that is needed, you have you are best suited for that job. But now times have changed, like I mentioned earlier. They are using digital systems to sample out the CVs that you sent to the HR. So I can't remember the term quite exactly, but you as an applicant are supposed to mention the key titles. Like, for example, if they're looking for, let's say, a studio technician, you'll have to put some words in a way that once the system comes across or encounters the studio technician, it will definitely pick you.
The keywords
the
for
keywords,
the responsibilities that you that position does.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see, most of the people like rely on, now I have my CV, I have my papers ready, like anytime is ready, like so they just send their CVs without even proofreading and seeing what is really required and stuff like that. On to the next point.
So just to cut you short on that, so when you're talking about our CVs are the ones that puts us apart from those other people who qualify to be in this position. Are you trying to say that sometimes it's important to use the AI since we are moving towards the technology? As the technology is moving, that's the path we are following. Are you trying to say that we should actually emphasize on using the AI in terms of making our CVs? Because at least AI can highlight some of these particular roles or key responsibilities that the person in your position, applying for the position that you want, can be identified by that particular software that is being used in hiring.
Times have changed. I'll have to emphasize on that. And technology, and most especially AI, is an enabler. Not a threat, not like the way people are actually perceiving it. It's actually an enabler. But in learning institutions, we're discouraged about plagiarism and stuff like that, where like you get AI generated content to put yourself out there. Like it's not encouraged. What you do in this particular case, you just go out there. Like for example, if they're looking for a studio technician, go to the AI software that you actually using. Don't use it to generate the content, but get the key points that you should actually consider in your application letter or your resume, so that by the time you're sending the document out there, it's actually very ready and appealing, and one that can be easily detected by the systems. Yeah.
What do you think about this part where you've actually mentioned that sometimes it's our CV, which is your first main point to may amplify kweli? What do you think about this part where most people say it has to be the network that you made while you're still in school or even after school, those fine months that you are outside? Or nani unajua, who is in that company that you're applying for, and how can they help you, or how can you benefit from those people?
First of all, to answer that, I think when I was due for my attachment, that was back in 2022. I don't know anyone in the industry. Like I'm very green. And good thing is that when we were having that conversation, like we're having this conversation with the lecturers. So guys, where would you like to go for your attachment and stuff like that? And then one of them reached out and said, like, if you'd like to do things with TV production, you would like to do things with editing, you can reach out to me personally, and then
you go ahead.
Exactly.
So it means you agree with that?
Not really. Like 80%. 80% in agreement, 20% in defiance. You see, the 80% is because like you basically have to know someone, because if the lecturer is able to get into that opportunity, that definitely means that you have to know someone. Again, when you, for example, you have been invited for an interview in a certain company, and maybe you are acquainted to someone in there, but they might be able to vouch for you in one way or another.
Yeah.
And like when you are all alone, I tell you, kitakuramba.
So by talking about unajua nani, do you think that having a mentor or a sponsor makes it easier for you to thrive into your career or even get access to these particular spaces? We're not talking about nani unajua, because hata kama kuna nani unajua, it could be your relative, but it's not your mentor. But do you think a mentor or a sponsor makes it easier for you?
Yeah. I think they make it easier because, you see, they'll be able to offer you some guidance when it comes to matters, the career path that you're taking, the steps that you should take when approaching this the field that you've actually chosen. And the mentor, at some point, they might be able to facilitate the talkings when you go out there. Like, oh, this is a very good guy. Like in terms of vouching, like they can do it really, really good because they know you at a very personal level. Therefore, they'd be able to help you out. Yeah.
So talking about mentors, we have people like the referees, the people who make up kwa CV as referees. Do you think some of them ni wao ndo wanafanya you don't get these job opportunities?
Really? You see, I've attended a couple of interviews and they've never mentioned about referees. None of the people that I've put as my referees have ever been called by the organizations that have been invited for an interview. Then I don't know if it happens across all organizations, but I was listening to some content over the social media. Social media is an enabler as well. See, they were saying that for you to be able to get into that opportunity, you definitely have to, like in terms of the referees, you do not have to put out there. You can just put there anyone, and then because they won't go calling each of them like, oh, do you know Belinda? Do you know so and so? Like they won't call it just for documentation purposes. Like it doesn't really count much. Okay. Maybe on LinkedIn, whatever.
Okay, and how about those people who endorse you?
That one is a good start for many,
and it's key.
I've been vouched for a couple of times before, and I can really say like it really works.
It makes it even easier. Yeah.
You know, it actually gives you some sense of confidence when you go for an interview. You know, okay, like usually you are very scared, you're very tensed, like you're anxious, but when you get there, someone has already vouched for you. You know, like, oh, this job is mine. I'm gonna get the job and stuff like that. You have some level of confidence. I tell you that, which is kind of unmatched. So it's a big plus.
So it means you need to have a good rapport with the people that you network with.
Exactly.
And do you think sometimes based on this, apart from you having a beautiful CV, sometimes it's important to have a better skills that, or work on your skills in that someone can be able to notice you as you're working on those things, like creating an opportunity for yourself? Do you think it's something that is applicable?
Yeah. You see, I was having a conversation, or rather an engagement with someone at the uni. And one of the things that they mentioned is that you have to upskill on the different areas that you're actually interested in. And because first employment is not guaranteed out here. It is really, really tough. So with the relevant skills, you can be able to employ yourself. You can be able to do numerous things by yourself. And at the end of the day, say that you're kind of employed. Again, when you have that, the relevant skills that like you've really honed your skills on the specific areas that you want to venture into, it becomes much easier, because when you are given a practical interview, you'll be able to stand out from the rest of the contestants. So it's a big plus as well. So
you believe in they say that says position yourself before the opportunity comes in.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. Talking about positioning yourself before the opportunity comes in. Do you think one of the reasons to why we have an increment in unemployment is because most youths do not want to put themselves outside there? Because you've had this conversation when people are talking about, you see, Gen Zs, when you're having a Gen Z in the office, this is how they are. They do not want to be told things. They do not have skills. They do not align with any. We have the do not controversy.
Most of the people who are unemployed are youths, and most of them are the Gen Zs. Yeah. And it's a new generation. Like it's a new revolution. It's a revolution actually, and people want to do things differently. They do not want to do it like back in the day.
Traditional way.
Yeah. So they definitely want to do like, oh, I want to do this, but in a more creative way. But the people who have already cemented their careers, they would want to go by the traditional ways, and they think like this group of people, they are very lazy. They do not want to put themselves out there and stuff like that, which is not the case.
They're rigid to change, the traditional people.
Yeah, because I think the Gen Zs, the people in this bracket are able to do tremendous when it comes to matters boosting the organization, because they are tech savvy, they are very knowledgeable about wide areas, and therefore if you allow them to express themselves freely in the organization, if you allow them to share their opinions regarding different approaches, they will be able to ensure that your organization is actually thriving, because they have a lot of ideas. They are very creative and they go with the trends. And because, right now, consumership, it is from traditional to digital, and a lot of people fall in the digital space at the moment, and this is where the Gen Zs fall mostly. Therefore, if they are able to craft the organization services in a way that is easily consumed by the digital audience, it is a big plus to the company. Or what do you think?
Talking about that, I once had this conversation. I think it was in one of the radio stations. I can just point out which exactly. There was this guy that was saying, with Gen Zs, they're very good. When it comes to ideas, they have very brilliant ideas. The problem comes into the implementation. Like, ask a Gen Z to implement that idea. It will take decades. So could it be that's the reason why most people do not want to rely on us in terms of giving us the responsibilities of being employed?
We have different personas, and for Gen Zs, I think they would be able to do exemplary well when it comes to when they are given opportunities. But some of them require like the push, like to do like stuff out there. Like, for example, they have a very amazing idea that could actually generate a lot of profits to the company, but they are quite reluctant because, one, they might be quite kind of shy of expressing themselves to their bosses and everything. There might be like they might have self-esteem issues, like, if I do this, will it be fruitful at the end of the day?
I think that's something that happens karibu kila wakati. Once you're just stepping into your first job or your first internship or attachment, you tend to be a bit fearful of what you're doing, if you're right, if you're not. Like, you question a lot about yourself.
So if they are given opportunity, if they are fully backed up by the seniors in the organization, if they have some driving force, if they are actually supported like 100% or 80%, they would be able to boost the organization or perfect on the areas that they've been designated to, rather than just leaving them out there to do things by their own. I wanted to say something, but I don't want to put myself out there.
Just say it. It's a chat conversation. It's called, the reason why we call it the chat lounge.
Sometimes I kind of fall into this category because. Anyway, I kind of fall in this category because sometimes you really have the need to do something, but you kind of refrain because maybe what will the outcome be like? Who is there to support me? But if you have, like, if, for example, in some cases, if I have someone to tell me, like, Victor, you really need to have this. Trust me, I'll do it to perfection. If someone comes and tells me that, like, Victor, here's the funds, here's the resources that you need, like, here's everything, then it will be upon myself, like, to do the very best, because it will be like self-inflicting pressure because like, I've been provided for with everything, therefore I have to do best. So I think the Gen Zs, they're kind of they're varied in short, and therefore, if they are given opportunities and like, if they're supported like they should, they'll be able to make great impact in the society. So
from what I'm getting is that most Gen Zs are perfectionists. Most Gen Zs really want it when before they start doing something, they need to have everything well set and given the responsibility hivyo to bure bila kuanza from somewhere, because one thing I understand is that you need to start from somewhere before you get to a certain level. But Gen Z, we want it cha 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 bio bio. Is it what you're just trying to imply?
Let me put it in a different way, or which is kind of simpler. If there are proper systems, if there is a proper planning of how you're going to implement this particular strategy, and you involve the Gen Z, and you tell them, like, this is our goal, this is what we need to achieve by the end of the day, here are the resources, and if there's some which are lacking, like, this is the plan that will be used to ensure that we get them towards the end of the process. Now, if they are assured, like, basically it's all about assurance. I'm assured that I'll get my salary at the end of the month. I'm assured that like, all the resources that I need will be provided for. Then definitely they'll be able to give their best. Yeah.
Talking about that, you've just mentioned something that I feel like it's quite insightful. You've mentioned something to do with salary minded.
Yeah.
From what I'm getting is that most of us as Gen Z, we are more salary minded compared to being skill driven.
I would like to counter that a little bit and say that, or rather propose that I've been having a kind of a conversation with someone who is already in the industry, who's really doing well in the industry. And they told me that nowadays it's not about your passion. It's not about your your skills and stuff. It's where the money is at. Belinda, let's say, sorry, if you're a radio presenter and let's say they are paying you something like 350K and then you are invited for a sports show journalist. In as much as you do not know much about sports, and but you're ready to go there because the salary is kind of good. Let's say like it's around 700,000 per month. You definitely go there. You will learn everything. So when it comes to matters like money-minded people, I think it's kind of. I think people are actually looking at the bag like, what is it for me? Like what will I be able to get at the end of the day if I decide to venture into this space? Yeah.
Do you think now that's the clash between the traditional people who have been into employment and the Gen Zs? The reason why maybe they do not want to involve us into these things, it's because we're salary driven, and we do not want to go through the same process. You can go and get employed and then upitie kwanza wanze attachment, then internship. That's around, I would say, 1 year. That's attachment and internship. Then if it's successful, work within a probation for another 6 months. That's 2 years. Then after that, wakwambe bado wanakupima alafu unapatiwa a small salary just to keep you at least iko boosting kiasi. Do you think that's what the Gen Zs do not want, and that's what the older the traditional people who have been there into employment are trying to emphasize on, and that's why it's called your clash?
I'm still in denial of your idea because all of us, like everyone, is money minded at the moment because everyone wants to get the best.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Gen Zs, like, some, like, people are coming from different backgrounds. There's some who are well catered for, some are kind of struggling.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you've been given that internship. Let's say you're not getting paid. And you're from that struggling background. And then you're given another probation. You're not getting paid. Like, at least you should be given transport. Like, let's say if your transport per week is around 2K, then let them provide that 2K. And then at the end of the month, it's around 8K. Like, in short, let them give you a stipend. They
facilitate something.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you can be driven into doing what you're supposed to do.
No, if most of organizations were doing that, then people will be very comfortable venturing into these internships and probation stuff rather than just shunning away the opportunities because, it's tough. The economy, it may change. Yeah.
Hey, Bambi.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, talking about employment and everything else, we cannot just say that people are no longer getting into
employment spaces. Yeah.
Yes, because of the things that we've just mentioned. But can we talk about the fact that nowadays we have the virtual jobs? So people are now venturing into the virtual jobs and they're moving away from the traditional way of employment, that is the 9-to-5 jobs.
The future is here, and people are actually embracing it at a greater percentage. And the youth, who are actually the larger population of the country, are most of them are unemployed. And if there are these opportunities and they are well facilitated, they can be able to work from home, then why not grab the opportunity? You see, the future of work is virtual and remote, of course, because you'll definitely have to just sit there with your machines and everything, just do everything and then submit your work rather than just going to the office. Of which I think it is a change. It's a positive change because it saves in a lot of things and people are able to give their best because, there are this category of people who are not able to perform well because of the, what is it called? Like, they're not into people. Like, they feel
introverts.
Yeah, they feel intimidated by large crowds. Like, they feel like, oh, I cannot stand these people. All these eyes. Oh,
social phobia.
No, exactly. So, but when they are given their own space, they can do
better.
Well. Yeah.
So it's serving the introverts more.
Exactly.
The virtual jobs.
Yeah.
Could it be that sometimes now the case that we're having currently, you've just mentioned something about the Gen Zs being tech service. And one of these areas that is technological, we have the social media places.
Yeah.
Pages. And you realize that most people, we tend to be called lazy because unashinda social media. People are wondering, unashinda nini social media? So when you're trying to explain to someone that there's something called digital marketing, and it's not the marketing that we're talking about, it's called what? Global Wealth something?
No.
Alliance Global.
No.
The other way, one of your social media management. Do you think that these are jobs in bado hawatwaje embrace, and these are jobs that are actually working for most Gen Zs?
Exactly. I would like to agree with you on that cause. See, like the future is here. People are doing everything virtually. People are doing things in a digital way. In as much as, let me digress a little bit. In as much as marketing is concerned, there are marketing that they're both traditional and digital marketing, which cannot be separated. But people are much concerned with digital marketing because that is where the population is at, the consumers are where that's where people are able to express their views concerning the products that they're consuming and stuff like that. Therefore, if this group of people, like the Gen Zs, are able to embrace the skills, they'll be able to get some kind of employment for themselves because it's really paying. But this is something that these guys are not aware of. And some are kind of aware of the opportunities, but they doubt themselves. They doubt their skills because they feel like, oh, what am I going to do there? Yes, I have the skills, but how sure am I that if I'm given this opportunity, I'll be able to give the exact output that the company wants. So I think that is the fear that these guys are having. But I would like to encourage these guys, embrace the opportunities. We learn in the way or along the way.
So am I wrong? Earlier I told you that Gen Zs are perfectionists. We want something to be so good to a point that we overthink a whole situation instead of just start and move forward with it. And it's coming from a point of lack of confidence. In your skills.
I think the Gen Zs, like when it comes to matters being perfectionists, I would agree that though not much, but I'm kind of in agreement with your statement. You see, these guys are like, they want to explore everything. Like they want to, like they are kind of keen to details. They want to have their stuff commended. You see. But again, you've mentioned something concerning them being overthinkers. You see, perfectionists are kind of overthinkers. I'm a perfectionist, to be in particular. And one of the things that I would want is to see my product being recommended, being perfect and stuff like that. Therefore, that means I have to overthink. Like, mbona hii button haiko hapa ama mbona iko color green. Get. So definitely the Gen Zs will definitely want to overthink everything. If they are they're being associated with being lazy, they'll first of all think they first of all take it into cognitive processes and be like, why are these people saying that I'm lazy? Is it
I'm trying to do something
I'm just trying to do something different that might be able to elevate the company in some way, but these guys are just seeing me as a lazy person. You see, it is like they should be given a chance. They should be allowed to do things that without criticism and stuff like that, because once you start criticizing them, they'll overthink everything and they'll have a lot of variables, like when it comes to matters, the project that they're dealing with, and they may not be able to give the best, or if they give the best, it will be the best in the wrong dimension because they actually overthinking about it.
Talking about embracing what in the wrong direction, making your skills work in a wrong direction. We've had this issue on being a multifaceted human being or being talented in different areas. Could it be that this is one of the reasons to why one cannot be in a position to identify this is this kind of skill that I can use in order for me to get my skills well and also get financially stable? Apparently, most people want to be financially stable with multiple skills that they have, and which makes you not to thrive into getting to a higher space. Rather, you want to try, itaniwakia, ikikosa work after 2 months, 3 months, I'm moving to this other thing because you're good at them. Could it be that you being a multifaceted human being makes you limited? even when it comes to employment, do you have no idea where you stand? At ukianza apply, you end up applying in all jobs. Yeah.
To answer that question, I think if you are green, like very green, you're just venturing into the industry or in the job market, and then you just want to be multifaceted, it will be very difficult for you, and it will be hard for you to even get that one opportunity because you lack enough knowledge or skills in that particular field that you want to venture into. I would propose, or I would encourage people to, first of all, if you're good at something, for example, I'm a business journalist, and I might want to venture into human interest stories and stuff like that. That means for me to venture into human interest, I'll first of all have to perfect on my business journalism skills, so that at any given time, or if an opportunity comes and I'm called upon to write a business story or cover a business event, I'll be able to do it perfectly while also doing that other human interest story, because this is something new that I'm kind of learning about. So in short, what I'm trying to put out there is that, first of all, focus on what you feel like this is for me, like this is what I can actually do best. Then perfect your skills on it, and then try exploring other opportunities, because people want to generate income at the end of the day. People want to get wealthier, and wealth doesn't come in a single opportunity. It comes in diverse ways, and getting yourself into different areas or fields will definitely get you there. But that is after perfecting on what your interest lies most. Yeah.